3, 2, 1, end of test. Keying with a go.
Well, hello there, and welcome to another edition of Warbird Wednesday. My name is Fred Bell. I am the Vice Chairman of the Palm Springs Air Museum, and today we are talking about an airplane that actually grew out of another requirement. You know, sometimes people have ideas with airplanes, especially military aircraft, and they think they can do something, and then they want to try it out, and then it actually leads to something else. That is where we're going today. This is an idea that actually started out as something else and then was tested. Ultimately, it moved the ball, but it was never going to be an operational airplane. This is strictly a prototype testbed aircraft, and that is the Ryan, the X-13, the Vertijet. But first, Disco? Really? You got me going all these bucket hats. I'm in bees, I'm in all this, and we donate these to the kids in the education program, and today I am Disco. How's that? Does that work?
Why'd you do it? Why'd you kill him? Because I wanted his hat. Just look at it.
All right. Oh, I actually almost got a smile out of Jason there. There it goes, off camera. Now, we're going to pick this up because this model weighs about 12 million pounds, but this is what I'm talking about. There was an idea with the Vertijet that was for something else, and then ultimately you could say that some of its lineage was in this vertical takeoff and landing. And you can argue with me in the comments, but ultimately the Osprey and a lot of the Harriers and a lot of these other vertical and takeoff landing aircraft owe their lineage to kind of move the ball projects like this. So I'll throw up a plan view of this as I build the muscles in my left arm, and Greg can throw up a plan view of the X-13. Now the X-13 flew, first flight was in December of 1955. It was retired in 1957. There were a couple of them built. They were entirely testbed aircraft. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The Navy, in a contract, the F3R contract, was looking for vertical takeoff aircraft. The idea was not something like this or any type of kind of vertical, what you would think, the Harrier or any of this. What it was submarine-launched aircraft. For a long time, designers have screwed around with the idea, and I say that because I don't think, and again, this is something you can correct me because I can't think of one, that have had practical submarine-launched aircraft. The only entity, the Navy, that even got close, in my opinion, was the Japanese with some of those huge submarines that they built that had, aircraft hangars on them. But the problem was they were never practical. And so designers were kicking around the idea, think about like a nuclear launch sub, right? But instead of ICBMs in those slots, you could launch airplanes. You could send out airplanes. And the idea was, hey, that's a lot better than an aircraft carrier. And guess what? The thing can go under the ocean and hide and do all kinds of interesting things. And it gives you some more options. The reality was nobody could figure out how to make that work. And this contract with the Navy was kind of kicking around that idea. The genesis of it was with an FR-1, a Fireball, that they thought that aircraft they could actually make it take off vertically, because I think it had a 1-to-1 ratio on weight with minimal fuel. That was the idea. They never got there. They actually decided to go and roll out instead this testbed contract with the X-13. Part of that was built around a 10,000 pound thrust Rolls-Royce Avon turbojet engine. So the idea was they could actually get this thing off the ground with just the engine, not rocket assist. That was the other piece. It's not practical if because we've seen some of those tests with F-84s, and we've actually talked about it, where they were launched from like missile carriers, and they had a rocket underneath that was like a JATO assist, but a super JATO where they'd launch them off a rail. This was something totally different. This was on a platform. They could lower it on, and then the pilot could get in it and take it off. And that is where we're going to take our break, because I want to talk about test pilots. I'm going to talk about 2 test pilots that had nerves of steel, and that's Peter Gerard and Lou Everett. They were the pilots on this aircraft. I want to salute them today, because this aircraft actually flew, it performed, it did everything. It actually was in DC and went across the Potomac. It actually worked. But can you imagine strapping an airplane on that you're laying on your back and hoping that this thing works? And if you have a flame out or something with that engine, you're done. I mean, you're not going anywhere. So my salute today is to these 2 test pilots and to all the test pilots in the world that test all these. And we're still doing that with a lot of these aircraft up at Palmdale. But that get in these airplanes, they are not proven, and they go out there and they really don't know what's going to happen. And today I am going to salute them with a delicious handcrafted. I've always wondered what that means with soda. Have you ever seen a handcrafted soda? I don't know what that is. Oh, sweetened with pure cane sugar. The pure cane sugar mafia is back. Americana ginger ale, honey lime.
I love honey. Oh, I love honey.
That's interesting. It does have a California redemption certificate. So, Jason, this is not one that is a botulism candidate. You've failed in that respect. But we'll go ahead and pop this. And for Mr. Gerard and Mr. Everett and all of the test pilots out there that really showed they have will of steel, and that's as far as I'm going to go with that, I salute you.
Ooh.
I like it's
a very sophisticated taste.
Yeah.
Not terrible, but I wish you get these things cold. I know you sneak around with them, but it doesn't have a good finish. It actually has a hot finish. Second salute for our test pilots. So this aircraft, now here's where the challenge was. When they started looking at this, okay, the test bed aircraft work, but now you start loading on weapons, more fuel, combat load of fuel, everything else that you have to do with a combat aircraft, and what happens? The airplane becomes not feasible, not practical, and at this point in time, in the middle 50s, we were going through so many different iterations of test airplanes that this aircraft just proved not to be feasible. That's why I'm talking about it moved the engineering ball, but it was not feasible. So in 1957, the powers that be looked at this program and said, there's no operational requirement. We can't make it work. The time for submarine launched aircraft, or the idea about submarine launched aircraft, had gone away. We were looking at supercarriers at that point, and jet engine technology had caught up with doing really heavy loadouts on, but you're talking about now by the early 60s, for aircraft going off of aircraft carriers. So there was no practical requirement to have this airplane stick around. Now this is, and I have lamented greatly the fact that these aircraft, there's no historical thought process to saving these. The prototypes survived. One is down with our friends at the San Diego Aerospace Museum, I believe at the Gillespie Field Annex, and the other one is with our friends up at the Air Force Museum in Dayton. You can actually see these airplanes. And as I said, a really cool idea, an idea with no place to go. And the aircraft just kind of moved on into history, and that is the end, but not the end of vertical takeoff and landing for the X-13. Now, if you are interested in coloring and you have someone in your life that likes to color stuff, like Jason, he brings coloring books and looks for my approval all the time. He actually signs them and leaves them on my desk, which is kind of nice. You need this for the kiddos. So click on that link in the description. Jason will happily send one out, and it'll be one less book that he can color, but he will send it out to you. And this is Christmas is coming, so it's a great time for Christmas. If you are teaching those kids at home, the education guides are in the link down underneath that. You can teach one lesson. You can teach an entire year if you're homeschooling. Great stuff on history, on rockets, on airplanes. And guess what? The best part about it, it is free. If you came across us on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, give us a like and a comment. We love your comments. Thank you so much. People really liked the Henkel that we just did and gave us a lot of good comments. That was a really neat airplane. This one is too. We're closing in on 300 episodes of Warbird Wednesday, and Jason is getting to the point where he could spend an entire year watching Warbird Wednesday. He's so excited about that. I can see him. He's literally quivering with anticipation behind the camera. But we're closing in on an entire year of Warbird Wednesday. I love watching his face. He is just absolutely devastated, but we are going to get there. My name is Fred Bell. I am the Vice Chairman of the Palm Springs Air Museum. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
3, 2, 1, end of test. King with a go.